Morning, I'm here for the Pirelli event.
Over the two bridges, turn left, national paddock.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. You find me at Silverstone. I'm here for the Pirelli P-Zero Experience, a mega and fairly exclusive track day. We're going to have incredible supercars, amazing hospitality, and a pretty ridiculous surprise that Pirelli have given me the heads up on and I'm fairly excited about. It's going to be a good day. So why is today going to be so mega? Well, hopefully this gives you an idea. So alongside these quite incredible Pirelli custom cars, including SF90s and GT3 X's and Pistas and God knows what, there's also a whole lot of Pirelli partner manufacturers here. So Ferrari, Lamborghini, Dallara, Pagani, who am I forgetting? McLaren, also here with cars that basically customers can go out and test drive or take a ride in and experience. So it's just a full-on day of track time, and then you may have sort of seen a glimpse of the special surprise which I teased earlier. The Red Bull F1 team are here to do a demonstration run in the RB7, the 2011 championship winning car. More on that to come soon. For now, I'm just going to bask in the glory that is incredible supercars in the pit lane and, wait for it, on track. It feels so good to be back out here at Silverstone. Loads of cars I want to show you today, but I'm going to kick things off with this stunning Ferrari Roma. So I mentioned there are sort of Pirelli manufacturer partners here, Ferrari being one, and this is Dick Lovett. You remember my favourite Ferrari dealership in the world, their demonstrator Roma. And I remember they did a sort of Instagram competition, or just at least allowed their followers to suggest the spec of their demo Roma, and they absolutely nailed it, because yes, green with tan. This thing is stunning, and I should really go and get the F-Type and park them up next to each other, because I keep saying that the new F-Type looks a bit like the Roma, but I'm seeing more of these on the road now, and I just think they look absolutely mega. They've got so much road presence. It really doesn't come across on camera, and definitely when you're somewhere here like a big wide paddock, but you see this thing on the road, they just look incredible. And I've kind of told myself that I didn't love this car as much as I did when I drove it last year, because, well, they're just so damn expensive. But once these things maybe, you know, depreciate a little bit and become potentially a bit more affordable, I still would love to scoop one of these things up, because they are just amazing. And yes, this spec is spot on. Now, truth be told, I wasn't actually planning to go out on track today. I got loads of stuff to do today at the P-Zero Experience. I just didn't think I'd have time, but it seems a shame to come all the way here in this stunning new F-Type and not have a go. So I quickly just dropped Jaguar a note and said, look, do you mind if I take the car out on track? Because often press cars or loan cars, manufacturers aren't that keen on you having to go on track unless they're there to sort of support you and make sure the car's set up properly, etc. But Jag, being the legends they are, said, yeah, sure, go for a few laps. Don't try and race a few SF90s and don't go crazy. So I'm going to try and be very respectful, just do a few sort of fast cycle laps and see what this car's all about. Now, let's face it, this is not a good look for me. I mean, I'm not sure there's ever a good look for me, but the sort of, well, yeah, anyway, apologies. Not that I'm sure many of you care, because let's face it, all we really care about is this car and what it's going to be like on track. Because I keep saying, on the road, it feels so much better than the previous generation, so much more purposeful. Is that going to correlate on track? We will find out. Dynamic mode, sport shift. I think that's all we need to do, right? Let's go into manual. Gear 1, I've got my little band there to let the marshals know that I've done my briefing. And yeah, let's head out on track. maybe that was the couple of fast sighter laps Jag said they would allow me. But we're going to think more than that might start to slightly take the piss. The confidence that you have to absolutely floor it out of the slow speed stuff because of the all-wheel drive system, absolutely mega. And we're running standard P-Zeros on this car. There's no special track tyre like that. So it's obviously not a track car, but it is capable. And on a day like today, you can have a ton of fun at least. Oh, here comes the SF90. Mega. Go on, lad. Well, that was bloody brilliant. Wasn't expecting to go out on track, as I said. So awesome to do so. And that car, it's just fun. It just continues to be so much fun. But seeing things like the Huayra BC, the SF90 out there, pretty damn cool. I wish I could do more laps, but I'm going to be respectful to Jag. And as I say, I've got a lot of other stuff to be doing. So I'm going to get a coffee, and then I think I'm going to be heading over there to check out the Red Bull F1 cars with a special guest. Stay tuned. This has made my day because I am F1 obsessed. Also, this is kind of my era, or maybe a bit after. I was a big Schumacher fan, sorry. I don't want to... Yeah, we can move on from that.
No, actually, what I was going to say is, I forget what the designation of the chassis is. It's the...
RB7?
RB7, there you go.
RB7,
See,
there we go.
the man behind the camera knows more than I do. Now, in fairness to me, I didn't actually race this car. This is a championship winning car. But yeah, RB7, obviously carrying the current decals to honour the partners and sponsors that Red Bull Racing have. But this is a fantastic workhorse. We've had it all over the place. We were talking off camera before. You were in Vietnam when I drove the car there. A little bit wet, which is not ideal for a show run. But because it still has the traditional V8, then it's got that beautiful soundtrack, which I think excites people. And it's so robust. You know, we've had it on mountains, we've had it on beaches, we've had it on helipads. We've not had it in a sewer.
That could still come though.
You never drivers. They can take it down from the ground.
But so you retired 2008?
2008.
2008. So it's only a couple of years after you retired, but obviously it was a dominant car for its year. When you jump in it, or when you jumped in it the first time, can you tell straight away just how special this thing was?
Well, I could pretend and say yes, but unless you're actually driving it at full speed. But my experience is that fast cars are a bit more difficult to drive than less fast cars. And so a lot of guys in Formula One, when they're in a mid-grid, go, oh, if I just got my chance at the front. And a lot of them, when they do get the chance at the front, struggle to match the pace of maybe a Max or a Lewis or whatever, because the closer you get to the peak of performance, the more edgy it is. So the more sort of simple the car is to drive, then that's normally not a good sign for outright pace.
If you need a step-in driver, I'm ready. I am ready. Yeah. So if you're not feeling up for it today, just give me a shout.
I'm quite tall for a driver, but I'm thinking you're what, 6'3", 6'2"?
That's the excuse we'll use for today. I am 6'2". Yeah.
It's actually better to be a very small driver if you're going to be a Grand Prix driver. But the problem they have is when they retire, they're still small. So I had to squeeze in there for most of my career. But I can sort of, stand
now
up.
Now you can suddenly stand tall and be proud.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for walking around the car. I cannot wait to see you out on track shortly. So yeah, good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to one of the rarest, craziest, potentially most pointless but brilliant McLarens ever made. This is the 720S GT3 X. Sort of fundamentally a 720S GT3 race car, but merged with a standard 720S road car to make it more powerful and less usable. You cannot race this thing. This is a track toy for very wealthy people, maybe people who want to have a super aggressive track toy but not actually go racing. The standard 720S GT3 costs £450,000. I'm assuming this, it is unconfirmed, costs a minimum of 500 grand, just as a thing to use on the occasional track day. Absolutely outrageous. You can just about make out that it is still a 720S. However, it looks a little bit like a sort of daily driven exotics project car, but it's not. This is from factory. They take the 720S GT3 race car, fundamentally a very good race car, and then kind of improve on it. So in terms of power, if we come round to where the engine is positioned, we have the 710 horsepower that you get in the standard car that is then upped by a push to pass button. So if you're sort of, coming up behind a very annoying Huayra BC and you want to overtake it, push to pass, you gain an extra 30 horsepower. That's 740 horsepower that this thing can deploy. That additional power needs additional cooling, so they've modified some of this bodywork to help and to aid with the cooling. What I love is how raw the carbon fibre is here. They haven't bothered with glossy finishes or satin finishes. It's just so brutal. I feel like if I put my finger on it, it's going to almost cut me. Everything about this is about lightweight and performance. This massive sort of S-duct scoop with a big old radiator at the front there, which we see on so many race cars now. And they actually modified the roll cage inside so that two people can be in the car enjoying those track days. Also, because the car is faster, they've added, or they've worked on the brakes, so we've now got improved brakes on this thing as well. Of course, you're looking at some Pirelli tyres, it being here at the P-Zero Experience. And we cannot talk about, or we cannot not talk about, this huge rear wing. Aiding in the downforce, as is, wait for it, the diffuser, which is, look at that. It's like a load of cardboard boxes from Amazon. Absolutely outrageous. Exhaust pipe too, insane. So many race car elements, but then also so many recognisable elements, as I say, from that 720S road car. This thing is absolutely outrageous. And I remember a few years ago filming the LaFerrari FXXK Evo, the Ferrari track-only sort of billionaire's toy, and this kind of reminds me of that. It looks amazing in this black and orange spec here, tucked in at the Greystone GT pit. They've got these cars on display here today. Unfortunately, this thing is not going out. It must be a customer car. We don't know how many they're going to be making, McLaren, and as I say, price is unconfirmed, as is the exact performance. So let me know your thoughts. Are you a fan of this incredibly rare, very new, slightly bizarre but brilliant McLaren? Now, this is a pretty special way to end the day. I'm not getting behind the wheel, but who cares, because I am getting in the passenger seat for a ride. Let's actually see if I can get in the passenger seat without setting off the fire extinguisher. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Come on. Oh, they were all taking the piss saying I was too tall and I wouldn't fit in, but I fit in all right. So yes, Huayra BC for a bit of a passenger ride to finish off my day. Pretty special to have this thing here. And funnily enough, I was tweeting recently saying that I'm not the biggest Huayra fan, but Mauro Callo does a lot of driving for Top Gear, said, have you experienced one on track? I said, no, that's about to change. So yeah, here we go.
Are you not the biggest Huayra fan?
Well, I think it's very impressive. I think it's better to look at, maybe. No, I'm taking back everything I said about it before. Oh my God. I should have done this before lunch. Oh, those brakes are insane. Okay, so my criticism before would have been that the car's a bit of a brute, but oh my god, that's what makes it so good. Unbelievable. I mean, as I say, I probably should have done this before lunch, because I definitely need to go and have a lie down and let my stomach relax. But yeah, unbelievable experience. So good. Well, yes, as I said, what a way to end the day. It's been an amazing day, actually. So much has been happening. I'm kind of trying to remember everything that happened. So cool to catch up with DC and see a Red Bull F1 car on track, but so many other elements. So yeah, huge thanks to Pirelli for inviting me down. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure you stay subscribed for plenty more videos to come.
Ooh.